It is so hot today, I can't stop sweating. I thought maybe today we'd have a look at the old Spinal Tap arcade machine. What makes it tick? What makes it great? Who designed this thing? It was me! Now the whole thing is designed around a computer. The computer runs the games, the computer runs the menu, the computer supplies power for everything except for this. The light, which are just Christmas lights. Beneath here is just like an empty void full of aluminum foil tape to reflect the light back and some Christmas lights. And it works pretty beautifully. Up top is an arcade push button that I've just spliced directly in line with the power button for the computer. And you push that and it fires right up. The screen is a 32-inch Insignia television from Best Buy. See, it's given me an error message because it doesn't like the fact that I just cut the wires and connected it. I'm not sure why it gives the error, but I did manage to get it to just show the error and go away before I had to push buttons to make it run. So you can see I've got some stickers that show you the moves for Golden Tee Golf, which is one of my favorites. A lot of people said I was cheating because I didn't need the stickers, I just know the moves, but there we are. The menu is something I programmed. You know, it's got the Spinal Tap going to 11, Spinal Tap logo, Spinal Tap the band, the white stripes and the gold year and company the game is made by is meant to emulate a Marshall guitar amp. And if you push one of the buttons, it will bring up information, the history of the game. Then you can go right or left. You know, you got a screenshot, what the marquee would be, you know, the little banner at the top of the arcade machine, any promotional flyers for the game. But these flyers are not intended for the gamer. These are intended for the arcade operator and how great it will be for your arcade profits. They'll show a control panel. A lot of them are very generic. You know, if a company like Taito, for example, just has a million games that have like 2 buttons per player, they're all going to be the same. But some of them have really unique ones, and it's worth looking through. So you can hear all the music. I'd hardly call that music. All the noise that I made. You know, guitar string squeaks, some chugging along, and then you know, if we were to choose a game, let's try Puzzle Bubble. Something like that. It's hard to see, but up right along here is a light bar, and that basically just has 2 IR blasters in it so that the guns can track. But we're gonna head down below and keep moving down. Both players are the same. We have 7 buttons per player and a joystick. Now what's unique about the joystick is that it is not actually a digital joystick, you know, with the 4 directions and then the ability to hit corners. It's actually an analog joystick, and there's a custom piece of software that changes, like if you load a game that takes analog controls, it will load the analog mapping for the joystick, including Reasonable Dead Zone. I haven't gone through all the games, and I probably never will, but you know, if there's nothing specific per game, it loads a default one that's kind of good for everything. And then we've got our 6 buttons plus our start button. If there is a game with 4 or fewer buttons, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's a game with 5 or more buttons, and I can only think of one game that has 5 buttons, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. So these are actually connected because the joystick can only hold so many buttons. These are actually also the interfaces for all the buttons to connect to the computer. And then we've got our start, and then down below we've got a coin. But wait, there's more. In the center of the control pad, I've got a trackball. It's a little scratchy because of the intense amounts of trying to beat my nephew's high score at Marble Madness. So I need to get in there and grease my ball, I guess. But again, we got volume 211. Here we are down at the coin door. You know, you've got your coins. Let's just fire up the game. Let's fire up a different game. Okay, so I've got these wired up to micro switches I mounted on the backside. So where you would normally push this button to get your coin back, it actually inserts a coin for your game. But where's the fun in that? Command HQ token. Nice. You can use quarters, you can use tokens. I've basically broken the mechanism so any coin will do. It's a lot of fun. And while we're down here, you'll notice these two gray squares. They're housing the GunCon replicas. They're not the greatest guns, but you know, a couple beers in, are you gonna know? Speaking of beer, vintage solid brass Coca-Cola bottle opener. And on the bottom here, that's a little beer with foam. Let's go inside. So when I got this coin mech, it was missing basically all the parts. So I had some leftover 3D filament, some PLA rather, and I 3D printed these chutes that kind of guide the coins right down into the coin box. And the coin box is actually just a cookie tin that I got from the dollar store, or a loaf pan, and it's got that satisfying authentic sound. I didn't want to like glue or screw anything to this, so these little chutes I made are just held on with you know, some clamps. And of course, is there anything in there? You could always, uh-oh. There you go, fixed it. You could always, I could actually cut a sticker. I might cut a sticker there and put something on there. You know, Permanent Records Arcade or some nonsense. Keeping with the Marshall guitar amp theme, the entire thing is wrapped in a black vinyl. And the control panel is made out of sheet brass that I got from the local metal shop. So that kind of ties in with the Marshall control panel. And then the molding around all the edges are white, which you know, replicates that Marshall guitar amp look of the white piping. I do have a real one of these. I mean, this is real, but I have a full-size one. It's bigger than my refrigerator, but unfortunately it's in storage because I had to move into an apartment building. And there we go. A full sort of tour of my Spinal Tap arcade machine. Of all the machines I've made, obviously that's my favorite. One of these days though, I'm gonna finish, I've got it all drawn out and thought up in my head. I got dreams of like a stand-up racer where you can step on the pedal and steer the steering wheel, and anyway, it's gonna be called Red Lion Fever. I'm excited. But until then,
Thank you.